Chapter 30 of For Heaven's Sake, Little Talks to Little Folks by Rev. Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 30 The Steaming Kettle. Some boys and girls don't like to obey. Maybe you are one of them. Perhaps you wonder why you have to obey. Well, that's just the reason why I'm going to tell you about little Jimmy Mitchell. Jimmy was 4 years old. He was small. Yes, but he liked to have his own way. Jimmy didn't like to obey. Well, it seems that one of Jimmy's favorite play spots was in the kitchen. He liked to be near his mother. He liked to watch her cook. Time and time again, Jimmy had been warned to keep away from the stove. But there was something on the stove that Jimmy liked. It was a tea kettle. Jimmy liked to watch the steam pour out from the mouth of the kettle. In fact, several times Jimmy tried to catch the steam in his hand, but his mother stopped him. "Jimmy, Jimmy," his mother warned, "never touch a steaming kettle. You'll burn yourself, and oh, how it will hurt!" The boy heard his mother say those words many times, but Jimmy paid no attention. Jimmy was always trying to catch the steam. Well, one day Mrs. Mitchell was heating some water. The kettle began to boil. Steam poured from the mouth of the kettle. Jimmy moved close to the stove. His mother and father watched him. "Let him alone," whispered the father to the mother. Well, Jimmy stood on his toes. He raised his hand. For just a moment Jimmy held his finger in the path of the steam. That was enough. Jimmy screamed and cried and yelled. Jimmy had burned his finger. Well, you can bet that Jimmy never played with a steaming kettle again. Oh, no! Jimmy Mitchell had learned a lesson. It was Jimmy's first lesson in obedience. You know, boys and girls, Jimmy Mitchell was too young to know why he should have stayed away from that steaming kettle, but Jimmy's mother knew. Jimmy's mother knew that the steam would burn. That's why she warned him. But Jimmy wouldn't listen. Jimmy wouldn't obey. He disobeyed, and he burned his finger. Don't we act very often just like Jimmy Mitchell? Certainly we do. Our mothers and fathers tell us that we shouldn't do this or we shouldn't do that. Oh, we think that we know more than our fathers and mothers. We don't listen. We don't obey. Then what happens? Well, we get into trouble. And when we don't obey, we make a sin. Don't forget that God has sent your father and mother to watch over you. They take God's place. Your parents know what's good for you. They know what will harm you. That's why your parents tell you to do this and not do that. That's why you should obey them. You wouldn't disobey God, would you? Of course not. Well, God talks to you through your parents. When you obey your parents, you obey God. When you disobey your parents, you disobey God. Learn to obey. Then you will not get into trouble. You will not fall into sin. End of chapter 30.